How Sapphire Egemasi's fake tech empire fooled the internet until the FBI showed up. She was bold. She was brilliant. And to thousands of young African tech dreamers, she was proof that you could make it big. 28-year-old Sapphire Egemasi sold the dream of global success, flying first class, designer clothes, big tech internships, and luxury vacations from Paris to Santorini. But behind the aesthetics was a lie. A $1.3 million fraud operation that targeted U.S. government agencies between September 2021 and February 2023, and landed her in FBI custody. This is the untold story of how a self-made personal brand became a federal case. How a tech queen became a cautionary tale about the dark side of digital influence. Sapphire Egemasi branded herself as Nigeria's rising tech star. A coder, a mentor, a digital nomad living the dream that millions of young Africans aspired to achieve. Operating a DevPost account as a programmer, she claimed to have interned at global giants like British Petroleum, H&M, and Zara. Her Instagram was full of lifestyle shots from luxury destinations. Her LinkedIn was polished to perfection, showcasing a trajectory that seemed too good to be true. She shared tech tips, gave career advice, and inspired young women in STEM across Africa. Her message was simple: if I can make it, so can you. But there was a problem. The internships were fake. The tech jobs were fabricated. The success story was a carefully constructed illusion, powered by fraud money. Arrested on April 10, 2025, in Bronx, New York, Egemasi was indicted alongside several co-conspirators, including Samuel Kwadwo Osei, a Ghanaian national alleged to be the ringleader of the syndicate. Here's how their sophisticated operation worked. Phase 1. The Tech Foundation. Egemasi, as a skilled programmer, played a pivotal role by designing and registering fake websites that mimicked official U.S. government domains. These weren't amateur phishing sites, they were professionally crafted replicas. Phase 2. Credential harvesting. These fraudulent platforms were used to harvest login credentials and redirect funds into accounts under the group's control. Government employees, thinking they were logging into legitimate portals, unknowingly handed over their access credentials. Phase 3. The money grab. Once inside government systems, the syndicate redirected funds meant for legitimate government operations. The syndicate defrauded the city of Kentucky of millions of dollars through these sophisticated cyber attacks. The operation was so well executed that it took federal investigators years to uncover the full extent of the fraud. So how did she hide a multi-million-dollar fraud operation in plain sight? Simple: lifestyle laundering. While federal investigators were tracking digital footprints, Sapphire was busy creating the perfect cover story. She used personal branding as the ultimate camouflage for criminal activity. The distraction strategy: posting from 5-star resorts across Europe and Africa, flashing tech awards and speaking engagement invitations, portraying a life funded by legitimate tech hustle, building a following of aspiring tech entrepreneurs who saw her as inspiration. But behind every glamorous photo was another wire transfer. Behind every motivational caption was another fraudulent transaction. She didn't just fake success, she monetized the fantasy and sold it to thousands of followers. The psychological manipulation: her content wasn't just about showing wealth, it was about selling hope. To young Africans facing limited opportunities, she represented what was possible. This made her followers less likely to question the source of her success. The house of cards began to crumble when federal investigators connected the dots between fake government websites and suspicious financial transactions. In April 2025, federal agents arrested her in Bronx, New York, alongside other alleged co-conspirators. The timing wasn't coincidental. She was likely in the U.S. to expand the operation or collect proceeds. The charges: conspiracy to commit wire fraud, aggravated identity theft, money laundering. If convicted, she faces up to 20 years in prison, significant financial penalties, and eventual deportation upon completion of her sentence. The international scope: Egemasi and her co-accused are currently in federal custody and are being held pending trial in Lexington, Kentucky. The case highlights the global nature of cybercrime and the FBI's reach in pursuing international fraud syndicates. The DOJ made it clear: this wasn't just online mischief or a solo operation. This was organized transnational cybercrime with sophisticated methods and significant financial impact. While Sapphire lived her fabricated dream, real people suffered the consequences. The government agencies: millions of taxpayer dollars were stolen, money that could have funded public services, infrastructure, or community programs. The aspiring tech community: thousands of young Africans who looked up to her as a role model now face the crushing reality that their inspiration was built on lies. This doesn't just damage trust in individual success stories, It damages belief in legitimate pathways to success. The legitimate tech entrepreneurs, real African tech success stories now face additional scrutiny and skepticism because of high-profile fraud cases like this one. The broader impact: this case reinforces negative stereotypes about African involvement in cybercrime, making it harder for legitimate entrepreneurs to gain international trust and investment. The Sapphire Egemasi case isn't just about one woman's criminal choices. It's a mirror reflecting larger issues in our digital age. The influence economy. We live in a world where perception is currency, and social media has made it easier than ever to fabricate success. The line between authentic achievement and manufactured image has never been blurrier. The aspiration gap: young people in developing economies face limited opportunities, making them vulnerable to both perpetrating and falling for get-rich-quick schemes that promise to bridge the gap between their reality and their dreams. The verification problem. Our social media-driven culture often celebrates success without verifying its legitimacy. We're quicker to celebrate than to investigate. The global crime evolution. Cybercrime has evolved from simple email scams to sophisticated operations that can fool government agencies and steal millions. The tools are more advanced, the targets more lucrative, and the criminals more organized. What can we learn from the rise and fall of the tech boom? For aspiring entrepreneurs, build real value, not just the appearance of value. Authentic success takes time, effort, and often involves failure before breakthrough. There are no shortcuts to legitimate wealth. For influencer culture, we need to demand more transparency from people who profit from inspiring others. Success stories should be verifiable, not just photogenic. For law enforcement, cybercriminals are getting more sophisticated, requiring equally sophisticated responses. International cooperation is essential. For society, we must address the root causes that make people vulnerable to both perpetrating and falling for fraud, limited opportunities, wealth inequality, and the pressure to appear successful. Sapphire Egemasi's story is a cautionary tale for the digital age. She proved that in our hyper-connected world, you can fool thousands of followers, build a brand on lies, and steal millions of dollars. But she also proved something else. Fake brands might fool followers, but they don't fool the FBI. The internet never forgets. Digital forensics always leave traces. And justice might be slow, but it's persistent. So whether you're building a tech empire or just building your personal brand, remember that authenticity isn't just morally right. In the end, it's the only thing that's sustainable. What do you think? Was she a criminal mastermind who exploited the vulnerabilities of the digital age, or just another influencer who flew too close to the algorithm sun? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you want more raw, unfiltered stories from the intersection of technology, crime, and culture, subscribe to RNN TV and hit that bell.